You can't play it.
No,
Okay.
I'll tell him.
Well, it was my idea anyway, so
Uh,
yeah, because I thought that video was pretty nice. We hot.
yeah, we're good.
Oh, okay. Okay. All right. So we streaming right now.
Yeah,
All right. What's going on, everybody? Coming at you again. Kev. Again, he's out today. Just want to let everybody give a moment for everybody to come in. We have Nemo. Hello, Jay, Caleb, Vita, Pamela, Y People, Papa, no name Rose. Well, it's not Kevin Rose, it's me. All right, so we got King Shandell, man, in the building. Queen T, what's going on? All right, so we're just gonna give a moment to let everybody come in. Today we're gonna discuss greed and how greed plays a big part in our everyday lives and how we are affected by it. Not just your greed pro se, but just the greed of others and how that just damages our entire society. So the Anthony Brown show. It's Ricky Swink, Anthony Brown, begging for change. What's up, Black Caesar? Black Caesar is going to be on later as a special guest. Danielle Riri. Uh, Caleb, Kev is doing great right now. If you want to reach out to him, Andre, what's going on, man? But he does need food, so for his feeding tube. So that's he has expressed just any type of help that he can receive. And I'm just gonna go into some things later of how you can get money to him. Pretty sure most of us who donate on a regular basis, we already know how to do that. But I'm gonna actually touch on that later. Just giving a few minutes for everybody to come in. Again, if you didn't hear me before, we're gonna talk about greed. Okay, so a little bit later, and then if anyone wants to call in from the chat to give your opinion on any of these topics, please feel free, and if we can squeeze you in, we'll definitely do that. Let's see. Thank you, No Name Rose. This is a lot of pressure, so I appreciate y'all coming in, joining in, letting me do the show in Kev's absence. So again, any topics or any ideas that you may have, put it in the chat so we can explore those, and maybe your topic will be a future show. What's up, King? But while we're getting started, I just want to mention the raffle. The raffle is still going on. Reach out to Masha Hunter and also Vanessa Dixon. She's auctioning off a Mabubu basket. I hope I said that right. Royal Mabubu. Okay, so it's an Egyptian relaxation bathing basket with all types of goodies in it. The value of that basket has increased to $115. So how you can what you can do to enter into this raffle? $5 to get you one entry, $10 to get you three entries. So you can go on the Cash App, and that's going to be $ Kevin D Wesley one, or on Cash App, and then on PayPal it's Kevin Wesley one. So if you want to donate to Kevin, preferably Cash App and PayPal at this particular time, so that way he gets the funds as quickly as possible. But of course, whatever method you choose to give, all donations are appreciated. You can also order popcorn from Coach Renz. Okay, so U, the letter R, popcorn .com. Coach Renz has indicated with the coupon code of sending love to Kevin. He will give 50% of that purchase over to Kev and to contribute to him purchasing the food or the supplement that he needs to just to continue his make sure that he's functioning correctly. Okay, so we can do that. We can also bdevolution.org. Okay, you can get your Born Winners clothing. I know I wore my shirt out today, shopping, got a lot of looks. It was a little uncomfortable for me because I don't like attention, but I always want to just support the brand. If you're not a big donator, you can always get something for your donation by purchasing the apparel that Kevin has available on the theevolution.org page. You can always support the brand there. It's a good conversation starter because, again, we got to change the minds and the hearts of our people and how they think and try to get everybody away from this religion. I'm going to wear this to church one day. I'm just going to bust up in the church with a Fear No God shirt on and just mess up the whole sermon. Okay, so, all right. So, before we get started, we tried to play Kev's video, Too Awoke. If you haven't checked that out, go to YouTube, search TOO Awoke, AWO KE, and check out that video. The brother's dropping some serious lyrics. The video is great. The music and what he's saying in that video is tremendous. And we wanted to play the video because it kind of ties right in to what we're talking about. Some of the points and some of the lyrics that he's pointing out in this video and in this song is dead on what I'm going to be talking about tonight, and that's greed. Okay, so also before I get started, I want to just do a little bit of the speech that I wrote. Again, it also pertains to greed and just our society as a whole. But before I do that, I just want to give a shout out to some people there in the chat: Tim, Rama, Barda. Let's see, we got Brick, Beards, Tex, and Tacos. What's up? Classic Accident. Okay, so and then Andre is also in the chat. Andre McDonald, not Andre Boyce. All right, all right. So Andre, man, if you could call in later, Andre, man, try to call in, man, give your insight, man, because I know you're a great financial mind in regards to finances. So I love to get your take. What's going on, Bobby and Patience? Okay, so before I kind of go into the information that I've kind of researched and prepared on this topic, I'm actually going to give a little bit of the speech that I wrote. And in this speech, I used a quote from Dr. Martin Luther King that says, "We're either gonna live together as brothers, or we're gonna end up perishing together as fools." Okay, so in this speech, I'm just indicating like how would I be able to make the world better? How would I be able to make the world greater? And in this speech, I'm indicating that I would be like a 21st century Robin Hood. Okay, but I said me and the merry men wouldn't have to rob anyone. We would search the budget we would search the sofa cushions of the budget searching for loose change because we're begging for change. Now I'm not talking about creating more welfare. I'm talking about creating services that will eliminate the necessity for one to even need welfare or get the current recipients off of welfare. So I would require that all religious organizations return most of the money that they receive back to the community. So I'm sorry, spiritual teacher. No more private jets. If you want to get away, fly commercial preacher. I'm sorry, rabbi and imam, but somewhere I read, while you're living in mansions, this Christos didn't have a place to lay his head. Somewhere I read that you haven't believed until you love for your brother. Everything you love for yourself. Somewhere I read that God is love. Now that may or may not be true, but when I descend into meditation, I ascend with the realization that the only God that I need is you. I'll cut NASA's budget. We'll go to Mars someday. But the truth of the matter is, if we can't get along on the Earth, how in the world are we supposed to be able to get along on Mars? And if there was life on Mars, if we ever got close to the planet, the Martians would just shut everything down. Shh, it's the Earthlings. You see what they're doing on their planet? Oh, yeah. Gee, I'll I'll make a summit on nuclear weapons. And the purpose of this summit would be to eradicate every nuclear weapon off of the face of the planet. That's right, we're putting down our dukes and our nukes. Just think about this for a moment. Think of the ingenuity required to build such a weapon. And the only defense that we have against such weaponry is a policy called MAD, mutual assured destruction. You launch yours, we launch ours, and we all die. Brilliant. Okay, so later on in the speech, I just indicated that we have to be more selfless. Okay, we have to be more selfless and a little less selfish. Okay, if we're gonna make it in this world, if we're gonna make it in this society, not to be able put ourselves in a position to where we're killing ourselves working and just struggling trying to make it. We have people out here working 2 and 3 jobs and they still barely have enough to pay their bills. So how long are we going to be able to exist in this manner? How long are we going to be able to survive in a society where the 1% of the most richest and the most powerful people have everything, and those at the bottom have pretty much nothing? Okay, so we know hard work doesn't have anything to do with it. Okay, we're all working hard, but when you're not making enough money, that shows that you're that is a result of your hard work, then it's like, what is it? And then we have crime and criminals in our society. We have the highest prison population in the world. So all of this is tied back to greed. So you're a petty criminal. Okay, you may steal or you may sell drugs, but what about the white collar criminals who are the CEOs of financial companies who are stealing people's retirement money? Just pretty much is taking everything that these people have worked hard for just for greed. You get 10 years for selling a little piece of crack cocaine or some other type of drug, and they get 10 years for stealing billions of dollars, hundreds of millions of dollars. So just look at the disparity in that. Okay, so again, that's kind of what I'm going to be going over tonight. So let's see here. So, and again, just in our society, I know today was Sunday. I don't really follow the news. I think today was the first week of the of football season. I didn't watch any of the games or anything like that. And if you haven't, if you're not watching football right now, if you are watching football, really, I don't really think it makes a difference. But it's kind of funny to me, and I know we're talking about Kaepernick and the whole Nike ad at the moment, but it's kind of funny to me that a lot of these brothers will hold out for more money. They won't play football or they won't report to training camp in an effort to receive more money, but they won't hold out for something greater, for the greater good of our society and the greater good of mankind. And again, we always have to think about that. Our real leaders, our true leaders, are not going to be capitalists. Okay, they're not going to be concerned with material goods. They're not going to be concerned with how much wealth and how much money they have. And I'm not saying wealth is not important. Okay, all I'm saying is, if you're gonna have a true leader is gonna be for the people, making sure that the masses of people are doing good, not just them, not just your family and yourself are the ones that's doing good. But they're gonna make sure that the mass, if they're a real true leader, they're gonna make sure that the masses of people are doing well, even if it's a detriment to themselves. So I just think it's kind of ironic that these brothers will hold out and not play football to increase their salary, to get a salary extension or better contract, but they won't not play football just to break the system and do something good for their brother. So I just thought I would just point that out. Okay. Also, let me just quickly take a look at the chat. I know Kevin. All right, so Kevin is updating everybody on how he's feeling. Right now, he says he's feeling a little bit better. He's still dealing with a little bit of nausea. Let's see here. Let me see if anybody else has came in. Hey, hello, Jane. Let's see, Eden. What's going on, Eden? I don't know if Tamasha's in here yet, but if you are Tamasha, hello. And then let's see, Tida. All right. All right. Let me just go back to my notes. Okay. So, all right. So, again, just dealing with greed. And I know a lot of people say, well, it's a common, I guess, slogan or quote that the love of money is the root of all evil. And then, but if you talk to the motivational speaker will indicate that the lack of money is the root of all evil. And I say it's both. Okay, so it's and all of this stems back to greed. Okay, so when you have a person that has everything and they're ruling someone that has pretty much nothing. Okay, so the person at the bottom is doing whatever they can do and is doing whatever it takes, and they are aspiring to be like the person at the top. So by taking and pretty much harboring everything, harboring all of the riches and hoarding all of the riches that you can possibly get your hands on, that you can possibly acquire, you are actually creating the condition for the ones at the bottom to commit crime. You are creating the condition for the one at the bottom to be striving so hard for you, so that they would do things that they wouldn't normally do if they had what it is that they need. So the majority of the people don't even want a lot of these things in this world. They just want to be comfortable. So for so many people to be living at the bottom, and for so many people to be living in a state of poverty, that's indicative of your country. You know, that's indicative of this great nation called America. Okay, so you can only be judged by how the least of your citizens are living. But we have so much homelessness. We have so many people on the street. We have so many people addicted to drugs, and a lot of these people in the government who has the resources to clean up this whole entire mess, but they just refuse to do it, and it all goes back to greed. Okay, so again, so we can just kind of point that out, and then just to kind of go into a little bit of the money situation. Okay, so greed, and I'm not going to talk about the church and how they're extracting money from the community. We've kind of already gone into that, and we kind of know that that's a major issue, all stemming back to greed. Okay. Thank you, Eden. So basically, when you are poor, when you are desperate, when you are in need, when you are destitute, it actually puts you in a situation for you to be just manipulated. Okay. So, and that's how these religious organizations continue to manipulate you, because they tell you, give me all of the things that you have, give me everything that you have, which is nothing. Okay, but I still want that. I want the little bit that you have, in a promise for something more, in a promise for something greater. Okay, so again, they get you caught up in this capitalistic mindset. Okay, this materialistic mindset that you need things. Okay, so it all ties back to greed. So they use your desire, they use your need for greed, or to be a part of this capitalist machine, in order to manipulate you out of the little bit of things that you do have, promising that you're going to get something greater. Okay, so but if we can get out of this mindset that we need all of these things, and I know some of us who have careers dealing with ownership and dealing with property, we can see the disparity of wealth. Okay, so we know who has what and who doesn't have anything. Okay, so when you talk about people needing all of these amenities and all of these extra things in their life, they just don't need it, and it's just like they just want these things and just to have them as a status symbol. Okay, so that you can look up to them, and that you can aspire or strive to be like them. And it's just all goes back to things. Okay, our desire to have things that we don't need, things that eventually will corrode, things that will deteriorate over time, and things that will absolutely have no value. But we get into confrontations. We are willing to kill one another over these things. Okay, whether it be money, whether it be property. Let me just give you an example. Now, this is probably not you, but this happens. Okay, you get into an accident. Even though you have insurance that's going to cover the damage to your vehicle, you get emotional, and you get, because someone has damaged this thing of yours. Okay, you get so emotional to the point that you're willing to hop out of your vehicle, not knowing what type of opposition you're facing. You hop out of your vehicle over this thing, and you put your life at risk because someone damaged your property, which is going to be repaired anyway. You have, because you have insurance. Okay, and this is the attachment that we have to some of these things, and to greed. But because we live in a capitalist society, and you're nothing. Okay, if you don't have this certain type of car, or if you don't have a certain size home, you're looked at as being nothing, and you feel like you need these things in order to be happy. And we know most of the time when they say money can't buy happiness, The motivational speaker will tell you that you want to try it anyway. Okay, money provides comfort. I know that. Okay, but when it can become a disgusting display when you need a $20 million home, when you have a wedding that costs 40 million plus dollars, when you could have just had a private ceremony and televise it and let everybody see your wedding from there, but you had to spend about $40 million. You know how many dreams uh, $40 million can finance? It can finance a lot of dreams. It can change a lot of lives. But because some of us are so selfish, we just cannot see how much of a change and how much a difference that we can make for other people. Okay, when you talk about someone, your leader, there's no way. When we talk about the people that we look up to and people that we think are our leaders, there's no way this person is gonna be occupied with all of these things. Let me just give you an example. And I press on this time and time again. MLK, if you've read anything about this man, uh, Nobel Peace Prize money. Okay, gave it all away. Didn't keep none of that money. Now, some people can say, "Well, Rick, he that was the people's money. The people is the reason why he won this prize." Okay, right now the equivalency of that money, $54,000 back in like 1964, 1965, whenever he won the award. I'm not sure on the year. If you got the year, please put that in the chat. But back in the 1960s, $54,000 is about $430,000 today. So he gave away all that money. So and gave up his life. Okay, so a real true leader, you can tell he has certain type of characteristics. So for us to be getting bamboozled and getting misled, like we just don't have our eyes open, and we need to. It doesn't even take a lot of visualists to be able to see certain things. So all we have to do is just pay attention. Okay, so um, let me just go into some of my other points here. All right, so about money, and again, let me just touch on how again through desperation we are manipulated through religion, because I just want to touch on the book just a little bit, because I know some of us, there's some people in this stream that's still caught up in the confines. Okay, so there's some religious people that just watch this stream just so they can catch certain things to go back and tell their people. So I'm talking to you, a Christian. If you're in this stream, um, I'm about to speak to you right now, and I'm about to take some of your scriptures out of context, okay? Because that's the only thing that you can pretty much accuse us of not understanding and not having the mind of God. Let's just talk about this make believe God for just a moment, okay? Your make believe God is a super capitalist, okay? He promises you things, okay? So the fake Jesus himself said that if you give up everything, you give up your houses, you give up the relationship with your family, you give up everything in this life, he's going to return it to you 100-fold. Okay, so if you give up your land, you give up everything that you own, even your relationships, he's going to return it to you 100-fold. Now, let's think about this. Let's put this in perspective, okay? Why would you care about physical things if you're in a spiritual place? Why would you care if you're going to live for eternity? Why would you care if you have houses? Why would you care if you have a crown? Like what do these things really mean in a spiritual place? And what do these things really mean if everybody has them? Okay, so they don't mean anything. It's just like when you're in life right now, if everyone had pretty much an equal life, you made a decent wage where you can go to the grocery store and buy food and not have to look at your cart and see what's in it. Just like keep tab, like, this is $3. You just like, I need some bananas, I need some milk. You just put it in the cart, go check out because you got the money to pay for it. Okay. Some people we can't even live that simple. We can't even go to the store and go shopping, not being gluttonous or not just being what we just want to buy everything, but just getting the things that we need. We have to count and see if we can afford just the basic things that we need every day. So just imagine a society where you could just buy your food. You can just have adequate health care. Yeah, we had good education. We spend more. This country, I ain't gonna say we, because I'm definitely not a part of this. I'm a part of the system, but I'm not a part of the system. Okay, we spent this country spends more money housing prisoners than they. This is a common fact. Then they spend to properly educate children. Okay, you have teachers fighting for higher pay. You have teachers living in poverty. You have teachers that have second jobs. You have teachers that have to pay for things out of pocket because the school just doesn't have the budget to be able to pay for these things. We care about our people so much, though. Um, but we care about them so much but we don't want to properly educate them. We don't want to allocate the correct amount of money to the school board or to the school district so that we can properly educate our children to give them a chance to have a high quality of life. Okay, and then again, you have a lot of these politicians who are taking high salaries. Even with some of the bailouts, some of the financial bailouts, they took that money and they got their money first before they even applied it to any of the debts or to any of the economic crisis. They made sure that they got their piece of the pie first. Okay, so this is what I'm talking about. All of these things are tied back to greed. What's up, Lishan? Okay, so we just have to think about some of these things. Okay, so again, just kind of to tie it back to how some of us through desperation, we are manipulated. Okay, so in the book for you Christians out there, why isn't anybody teaching this book the way that it's supposed to be taught? And the reason why they're not doing it is because there's no consequence for teaching it incorrectly. This book tells you in Second Peter, in the second chapter, he says, through feigned words, he says they make through exciting words, they make merchandise of you. You know what I'm saying? Somebody come and give you a good speech and get you all excited, and then they take your money. Okay, so your book speaks about these things, but you don't recognize it. Your book tells you that he says they teach things that they ought not to teach for filthy lucre. He says they profess that they know God in Titus. Titus didn't exist, but whoever wrote this and it was attributed to Titus, he says they profess that they know God. But he says through being disobedient and being abominable, he says to every good work reprobate. This is what your book says. Your book says that you are to lay down your life for your brother. Okay, so why is everybody lacking? Again, a couple weeks ago, I touched on Ananias and Sapphira. It says no one lacked, but they had all things in common. So you got to ask yourself, there's so many churches, there's so many religious teachers, okay? So, but why is there so much lack? Why are we struggling so much if this is what supposed to be done? But we know no one teaches this book like it's supposed to be taught, because if they just followed those few little principles that I just mentioned, we'll be in a much better place. But the only person that's in a good place is your preacher. And again, it all ties back to, like I said, your God, being a super capitalist, promising you things. Okay, again, like I said, we get into confrontation over things. Your God promises you when you die, you're going to receive more things. Okay, and that's what it all ties down to, man. It ties down to greed and to just having a capitalistic mindset that we have to totally break out of. And if anybody has anything in the chat, let me see. I didn't see a game while I watched women's sports. Okay, Pay Homage said that he watched women's sports. He watched the NBA playoffs. So, does anybody have any thoughts on anything, any capitalism? Like, I know we're in a capitalist society, and I don't know. I think socialism. I think I'm a little more of a. I would be just my mindset and how I think would be more considered communist. But I don't know. I'm not really want to talk about politics. But like, if anybody has any ideas or any comments on capitalism, socialism, or what it is to be a communist, just put that in the chat, and I'll kind of touch on those. But again, just kind of highlight some things. Just with our government. This is our great nation. We're taught to look up to America, and we're taught to think about how great America is. Okay, we have all of these things that just goes back to greed. We got the water crisis in Flint, in Michigan. Okay, that all goes back to greed because they could have done a few simple things that cost money, but because they wanted to save money and that they wanted to undercut these solutions, they decided that your health is not important. You being healthy, the citizens of the people of this great nation, of this great republic called America is not important when it comes to saving a few dollars. Okay, just like a couple weeks ago, I pointed out the whole Monsanto situation. They said that they could have added a filter onto that toxic waste that could have corrected the problem. That would have cost them just a small amount of money. But they rather cut corners with the, I guess, trying to get away, trying to scam in order to just do the right thing, pay a little bit of money, do the right thing, and just make sure to maintain the health of the people. But just for you to be able to collect a few more dollars is just more important. Okay, so we can't become a part of that. We have to change our thinking. Like I can operate on just a little bit of money. Okay, just I need food, I need shelter, clothes. Really, none of these things matter to me. Okay, and a lot of our people who are caught up in materialism and caught up in this capitalistic mindset, they actually do detriment to themselves. Okay, and what I mean by that is when some of these celebrities, when you're in a Rolls Royce or when you're in a Lamborghini, that attracts attention. Okay, and in attracting this attention, you're around people that don't have anything. So you make yourself a target. Okay, instead of just living a modest lifestyle. Okay, I would rather for everyone to be good. Okay, everyone to have a high quality of life, everyone to earn an adequate wage to be able to take their family on a vacation so their family can experience what it feels like to, go to the beach or go. You have some people that haven't been out of their neighborhoods. You have some people that haven't been out of their city, that haven't been out of their state. Okay, so they have no idea what the good life is. Okay, so if this country is so, I'm like, how long can we be in this society living like this? Where we're working ourselves to death and we're still not seeing any fruits of our labor. And Heru, Sutek Heru says they haven't even left their own blocks. You're right. I'm saying like that's crazy. Okay, and like Black Caesar just indicated in the chat, he says most of our people are taught to go to school, and that's a whole game. Okay, education. How many? I can guarantee you, almost everybody in the chat is in some type of student loan debt. If you're in student loan debt, give a thumbs up in the chat if you got some student loan debt. Me, I got me. I got student loan debt. Most of my friends have student loan debt. I'm not talking about $10,000. I wish. I'm talking about thousands of dollars. And that debt never goes away. Okay, that debt never goes. It follows you. And this is something we don't know. I'm doing real estate right now. Okay, I'm taking two real estate classes to get my real estate license. I'm learning a lot about real estate. Okay, how much? And I didn't learn this from the real estate class, but I'm gonna bring it up. How much student debt you have can actually affect the type of home loan that you receive. And I just learned this a few weeks ago, a few months ago. You can't just reading about home ownership because I'm getting ready to purchase a home here pretty soon. I'm getting my real estate license so I can work my own deal. Okay. And I know a lot of friends that are purchasing homes here pretty soon. Hopefully I'll get to work their deal so I can save money like that. So even if you're um, not getting into real estate, it's just good to have the knowledge so that when you go purchase a home, young people, it's just two classes. So our young people can just take those two courses, get that knowledge, get that game, so that when they purchase their own home, they don't have to pay a real estate broker. They can just work the deal themselves. So all they have to do is just be under a broker, and you could do that real easy. That costs $10. So again, so you can just save that money there. But back to the education. Okay, all of us are in student loan debt. Okay, So that can affect the type of loan that you receive, the FHA loans. Okay, the Federal Housing Administration, those back loans that have that low interest rate, that have the best interest rates, those type of loans, you're not gonna, if you had a certain debt in student loans, you're not going to be able to be eligible for those loans. So I'm telling you, man, this is a well concocted scheme to have us going and coming. So you have to teach your children better. We definitely have to make sure that we're guiding them in the right way, letting them know what to do, what not to do. So yeah, we definitely have to do that. So just student loans and the education. Let me tell you another thing about these for-profit schools, like these online universities. Okay, if you need to go to school online, that's great. Not telling you not to go to school online. If you have graduated from an online school, again, not trying to disrespect anyone's degree or anyone's education, but a lot of these online schools, they target people like us. They target minorities, and they have sky high tuition. Okay, so they, because they know you got a student loan, you want to get Pell, you're gonna get the student loan. They don't care. They don't care if you're gonna fail the class. They don't care that you don't have internet. They don't care. I and again, I'm speaking from personal experience because I used to do it. I used to be one of those counselors that would call you and try to get you enrolled in the school. But you know what? I did have a conscience. Okay, just like I have a conscience now with the work that I'm doing now. So let me just point out a few things. These online universities, they have people like me that will call you, people that can talk well. I talk somebody in anything. I talk to you into going to school. I I've talked to people over the phone. I wasn't even calling for them. They just answered the phone. I enrolled them into school. They didn't even want to go to school. So I was good. I was good at the job. But the thing is, um, I lost my intensity for that job when I went to my manager and I told him, I said, look, I'm getting ready to enroll this lady. She's on disability. And I explained to her, I'm like, you about to get into a degree program that's going to cost you $60,000. Okay. How are you going to pay this money back? You're on disability. You know you realize you're going to have to go back to work in order to pay this debt because you're not going to be able to pay it off on disability. Okay. She indicated that she wasn't planning on going back to work. She just wanted the degree just for herself, just to feel good about herself. Okay. So I went to my manager and I said, look, man, I don't think I should enroll this lady because she don't plan on going back to work. And my manager said, that's not your problem. Don't worry about that. All they wanted me to do was to get this lady in school so that they can get her student loan and her financial aid money. That's all they was concerned about. And at that point, I couldn't do it. I still think about the people that I enrolled into that program, and I still feel bad about it. I still remember some of the names. That's how much. That's how it affected me, and I could no longer do it. Okay, so again, they don't care about you, and it all goes back to greed. Now, if you need the degree and then you think it's going to help you, and doing it online is the only way that you can do it, by all means, do it. But I'm saying you got to be very careful. Them people, they will befriend you. They talk to you about their kids. They whatever it takes to get you enrolled into that program. That's what they're gonna tell you. Okay. All right. So again, just going back to my notes here. Let's see, I done touched on a lot of the things, and again, we're gonna if y'all can just give me a quick moment. Hey, Josh, can you shoot Caesar that link?
I don't have them added on
Oh,
anything.
you don't? Okay, let me.
I gave you the link if you want to give it to them.
Okay. No, you know what? I already got it saved in here, man. It'll just take me a quick moment to shoot him the link so he can kind of get set up and get prepared to come in here. All right, I sent it to him. So, all right. So, man, let's see. Okay, so and like I was saying, with the country, if we are really concerned, I'm talking about everyone. Okay, I'm not just talking about black people. I'm not just talking about white people. Like if we are Americans and we are concerned about the equality and the welfare of our people, of everyone. Okay, not just your group, not just your family members. Like we should all be pushing for the same things. I know that's not realistic. I know that's not ideal. Okay, but everyone that has everything, they should be willing to part with some of what they have. Like if you got 10 houses, why do you need 10 homes? And I know some people have rental properties, and that's how they make their money. And I'm not speaking against that. Okay, I'm speaking against the people who got to have a house in New York, got to have a house in Miami, got to have a house in California. They just got to have vacation homes that they can go to. They're not really making no money. They're not renting the property out, but they go to these properties just when the weather changes, just because that's just what they can do. Okay, so I'm talking about these people who have all of this wealth, who buy RVs just to drive it for 30 days out of the year. $100,000, they spend $100,000 on an RV, and they're only going to use it for 1 month, and that's somebody you could buy a couple of houses depending on where you purchase the home for the price of that RV. So I'm just saying, like, these are disgusting displays of wealth, and we should be concerned in this great country called America, where we will want more people to be equal. Okay, so it's not ideal for everyone to be a mega superstar and make all of this money. Even if I did have the capability, I do have the capability, but like if I did get to that point, I would never keep all of that money for myself. I leave a little bit of money for my son, and the rest of that money goes back to the people. Okay, so these are characteristics of real leaders. And let me just see what Kevin's saying here in the chat. Yeah, so yeah, if you guys want to hear the song, man, please go to YouTube, go to Two Awoke. That's a great song, man. The lyrics, man, I love that song, man. I wish we could play. We gonna get it together so to be able to play that for y'all. But we're gonna bring Black Caesar in here. Let me just reach out to him real quick and see. Yo, Caesar, I know you in the chat, man. You getting set up? Faye Harmon says he says when you tell them that they say I'm gonna have to look that up. But then I guess Faye Harmon is speaking about Christians not reading their own book. And then when you ask them a question, they say they got to get back to you, even though they've been reading the book for or reading or studying the book for 20, 30 years. They always got to get back to you with an answer. And that's very true because they don't read the book. Just like Josh said a while back, he said they don't believe it anyway. Just like I said when I was in the store wearing the shirt, everybody looking at me like you wearing a Fear No God shirt on a Sunday, but you got Daisy Dukes on a Sunday. You probably just came from church or from mass or wherever it is you do religiously. And now you don't went home and got out your church clothes, and now you got on some Daisy Dukes. All right, Shandell says if capitalism didn't have to have poverty and homelessness, it could work. I think socialism and communism is a four-letter word in this country. I think socialism and communism is a four-letter word in this country. What do you mean by that, Shandell? What do you mean that socialism and communism is a four-letter word? Yeah, so hopefully Shandell can explain.
What I do?
What do you mean by that, Shandell? What do you mean that you want
I
to
ain't
mute
never really
the
something done in life, so
yeah, you want to mute the
your speakers off.
screen, Caesar. So Shandell can explain.
Alright.
Okay. All right, we getting Caesar set up so that he can come in and join the conversation. Okay, so again, like a lot of these, the healthcare system, everything is tied back to greed. We have a lot of funeral homes willing to cheat you out of your money. It's not enough that they're making adequate income with the services that they provide. There's a scandal right now in Chicago with the funeral home. So like people have no shame. When you lose your family member and you're in this state of hurt, in this state of loss, they capitalize on it. Any way that they can capitalize on you, they use your situation to capitalize. So there's absolutely no shame. Funeral homes in Chicago are taking people for the money that the state gives homicide victims, and then taking it. I think it's like $7,500. They're not satisfied with the 7,500. They're going above that and charging them for services that they never received. Just inflating prices so that they can get the 7,500 and then more money on top of that. Just a disgusting this display of greed. Okay, so we got Black Caesar set up right now. Caesar, man, just introduce yourself. Tell the people who you are, and just speak on the. If you got anything to add to the topic, go ahead. But if you got anything else that you want to bring in or add, the floor is yours, man.
Yeah, man. Can you hear me pretty good?
Yeah, you coming through clear.
Okay, cool, man. Yeah, I go by Black Caesar, which stands for blacks created everything, suckers always retreat. You know, I'm a music artist. I met Kevin and Coach down in the meeting of the minds in Atlanta. Cool dudes, man, and I like what they're doing. People, y'all, need to, keep donating to the cause, man, because it's very important. You know what I mean? We got kids out here that are lost in the sauce. You know what I'm saying? They're getting the money taken at church. The family members getting money taken at church. Even at work, they putting in overtime hours to feed families and still getting ripped off. We making everybody else rich and we getting breadcrumbs out here. It's very serious that we got this generation coming up. We serious that they know what's going on. We can't keep them in the blind. We cannot do that. It's not gonna work. But as far as this greed thing, man, it's all around. Greed falls under all kind of categories, not just money. Greed can fall in being selfish. It can fall in categories like trying to get over on other people because you don't want them to come up, or you want them to stay in the same spot that they in because you feel like you're ahead of them. That word greed is very, very ambiguous. It's crazy. It's crazy. I came up in the church myself for a long time. I came up in the church and I used to see people get the money, put the money in the collection plate. I was kind of like Kevin. I was happy to put my money in there. I go play a video game or two, save 75 cents to put in the collection plate until I started looking, I was like, well, wait a minute. We put money in this plate and this guy, woman, whoever was preaching at the time, but back in the day, you saw a lot of male preachers, it was always wearing nice clothes and you bump into them out at the malls and stuff like that. And I'm like, well, do they have jobs? Where are they getting this money from? If they don't have no jobs and not put two and two together, that's the money we've been giving them, and they keep asking. I remember when they used to pass collection plate around 3 or 4 times. They used to have somebody in church that needs something. Sister Mary needs a bill paid for this. You offer money, they split it, give her the money and take half the money. And it's crazy out here, man. It's crazy out here. It's real crazy, And I can't teach my kids enough. I tell them you got to have knowledge. Got to have the knowledge. If you don't have the knowledge, you won't have nothing else. They can take your money, but they can't take that knowledge. Can't take that knowledge at all. So to know about greed is a necessary thing, man. Cause that's deep. It's real deep.
Yeah, it does,
You know.
man. You're right. I mean, just even me researching this topic, man, it just started taking me in so many different directions and so many different angles. I had to kind of just like, okay, I'm just gonna only focus on this one aspect of it. And just like you said, it does come in different forms, not just money, but just selfish. And I'm just like, why do we need like it's just it's a programming, like just like Kevin said a couple months ago with the whole matrix things. We got to unplug away from this matrix because these things make us feel better. Like you look up to me because I have this thing, or I'm looking up to you because you have this thing, and all it is just something that doesn't even have, like, it has value because society has placed value on it. But the
Yeah,
only
exactly.
valuable thing that you have, man, is most of the things that you can't see. You know, like
Yeah,
love and your life, like everything. They say the most important things in life are the things that are free. You know what I mean? Like, but
exactly,
we don't look at
exactly.
life that way. You know,
We
we look
don't.
at life totally different, man. Like, you know, we looking at just, you know, what kind of car you got. But then, like, you drive a Lambo and somebody pull you out and rob you and die. You know, you dying for just for these status symbols. You know, so
Yeah. I remember, man, I come from the era, nowadays the kids they stand in line for these shoes. They camp out in tents to get these shoes. And you know, I was telling my son, he's not into, Jordans and all that old fashioned design stuff, which is cool, because I'm not into it either. I make my own clothes when I want to have something. If I want to have a fashion statement made, I make it myself. I don't follow nobody's fashion statement. I make my own fashion statement, even if I got to tweak it. But I told him, I said, man, it was a point of time when we couldn't walk around with these Jordans on. You got to take them off when you come home, because the greed of somebody else will make them take them from you. They would make you take them off. They just make you take them off, and it's very sad. That they look at, like you say, they think it's got to be a symbol of I got it, I done it.
yeah,
When that means nothing. At the end of the day, that don't mean nothing. When them shoes get raggedy, you can't put them on no more. What's the purpose? What's the point? You spent all that money for them. You done made the person who sold them to you rich. So the greed done transferred from you to them.
right,
It's a magnet. It's a magnet. You know what I'm saying? It's a magnet. Greed is a magnet. You know, it's a magnet, man. It's a greed magnet. It don't do nothing but pull other people into the circle of, yeah, I got to get what they getting. I got to do what they doing. Like it could be anything. It could be anything. And then at the end of the day, what's the point? What is the point? At the end of the day, it serves no purpose to be greedy for anything, because you can't take it with you when you leave.
yeah,
Anything.
you definitely cannot. And we kind of see that, you know, through the Egyptian culture. Okay,
Yeah,
and
yeah,
Kemites, don't jump on me, but we about to talk about a little bit about funerals, because I see some people in the chat. I know Patience said that she didn't bury either one of her parents, and then Kev said that, you know, he said funerals are a big robbery. Okay, so Patience, if you can touch on, like, you know, what you decided to do for your parents. Was it cremation, or you decided to go another route? I'm again, let's just talk about this for a moment, okay? You have poor people, and I'm not, and again, this goes back to religion, because we figure like we have to get buried, we have to preserve our bodies because of this supposed resurrection that's going to take place. Okay, don't get cremated because you burning your body up, and you don't want to be burned up. That's a bad sign. That's a bad omen
yeah,
to
yeah.
burn your body
Like
up.
you can feel
Yeah,
it.
he said, so we got to take all this land and got all these bodies in the ground, where these dead bodies are contaminating water. They're contaminating
Yeah,
things, and we just can't see. It's least expensive. You don't have, you can use the land for something else,
yeah,
and you you don't have to waste all of this money and all of these resources preparing a body. Okay, you could just burn it up. And if your God is so miraculous and so amazing, if He gonna resurrect you, He should just be able to resurrect your ass and give you a new body. You're gonna get a new
yeah.
body anyway, supposedly. So he can't give this God that can do anything. He can't give you a new body.
My idea is this: if they could spend all this money on a casket, you know, they could.
Oh,
You
okay,
know,
go ahead and finish your point, Caesar.
if if they could spend all this money, my fault for interrupting you, man, but I ain't want to lose my train of thought. But
Okay.
They spend all this money on a casket, right? Check this out. A casket costs all these thousands of dollars. When somebody die, they want to go out lavish. They don't want to have the pearl looking casket, the 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 hearse driving down the street with a bed of roses on top of it. I just saw this the other day. The funeral riding down the street, the one that got the casket and it got roses from the passenger seat all the way to the back of the tag. And while they driving, roses flying everywhere. That's good to look at while it's sitting still, but when it's moving, is what's the point? So they spend all this money on this instead of taking that same amount of money, giving it to the family members, and letting them start some revenue, create revenue. You know, why would you spend all that money on something that's only gonna happen once? You're only gonna do it one time.
Yeah.
So create something that's gonna go be beneficial to who's still here, that represents and cared for you, instead of just trying to go out looking like $1 million. It's useless. I mean, they just waste it. It's wasted.
Yeah.
I got a question.
Sure.
I got a question. All right. So we are, we call ourselves a conscious community and whatnot. We are we use the term we're woke. Okay. So I want to know, how many of us actually think that or would feel that our loved ones would respect our decision or show up at our funeral, minus the preacher, minus the Bibles, minus the Jesus talk and the God talk? Or would it even matter since you're not here? But that's just a thought I had. I mean, how would we want to be, no remembered when we leave, or how would we want to be represented when we leave here? Would they respect our wishes, or would they not show up because they want to do the Jesus and the Bible and the preacher and the anointing of the casket and all of this? I mean, what would you think about? What's your thought on that?
Well, I'm gonna tell you like this, Black Caesar. I've experienced this personally. Okay, you have some people who are so ingrained with this religious nonsense that they would actually not go to their family member's funeral. Okay, I came from the Church of Christ, and they teach you that if your mother die, okay, it could be your mom. You cannot go to that funeral if you are following that doctrine like you're supposed to. You cannot go to that funeral if they have it in a church. You can't go. You can't go pay your respects to your mother if they have that funeral in a church. And I'm telling you, I know people that have done it. They family member die and they have it in the church. They don't go.
That's wild. That's crazy. That's crazy. That's
And
crazy.
I know whoever's in the Church of Christ can attest to that. So they teach you if they have it in the church, you cannot go to that funeral. Okay, so it is, man. It's a total waste of money. And real quick, I got a quick thought, man. While you was talking about that, let's think about when people talk about heaven and the afterlife. Like, okay, if you think about heaven, heaven is just reincarnation. That's all it is. Christians say they don't believe in reincarnation. That's all it is. When you die, you're gonna get a new body. Okay, people
Exactly.
who
Yeah,
people who
I
are
believe that.
reincarnated believe they gonna get a new body. You're not gonna remember anything
Mm-mm.
because they
No,
say if
you're
you
not.
remember something, if your mom didn't make it to heaven and you want your mom to be there, you're gonna be sad. Ain't no sadness in heaven. Ain't no sorrow in heaven. Ain't no crying in heaven. If your son or daughter didn't make it, you might be sad. So God gotta wipe your memory clean. So you got a new body, new memory. You don't know who you is. You don't know what you did in your past. Like, what's the point, bro?
It's crazy. I mean, they tell you all these people in heaven waiting on you.
So what's the point? And Patience, I don't know if she got back to me, but I was asking like what she did for her parents. Like maybe she didn't hear me, but yeah, man, this funeral game it's a lot of money. These extravagant funerals. Like, and the thing is, like, if you can afford it, that's fine. It doesn't hurt. But when you are broke, Like I said, my grandmother died, man. They didn't even have the money to bury her, man. Funeral cost like $7,000. They just wasted $7,000, man. Didn't even have enough money to give her a grave marker, dude. Like it's crazy. Like and to say what you to go back to what you were saying with the final your final wishes. We need wills. Like a lot of us die, we don't have no will. Like they said Aretha Franklin didn't have a will. I couldn't believe that. Like I didn't read the story, so I don't know if that's true or not. But I read something like a real quick little thumbnail or whatever that Aretha Franklin, like someone who had that much money and that important and had all these things to kind of leave behind, she didn't have a will.
You would think she would.
So I mean, a will is not something that is like really difficult. Like you can write up a will, dude, on a sheet of paper and just have
Right,
a few witnesses sign it. Like you don't have to go to a lawyer. You don't have to
right.
like pay money to have a lawyer draft up a will for you. That's the best way to do it. But like if you don't, we don't have some of us don't. Well, most of us don't have lawyers, bro. 'Cause we don't have anything. So you're talking about passing down wealth and you have property. When your stuff, you die, your stuff go to probate and the state kind of divvies out like what
It's
which what
crazy,
what family
man.
member is going to get because we don't have a will. So that's
That's
something
crazy.
very simple. Like you have to prepare. You can't be living life like you're not going to die.
You're
And
right.
we know for black people that's something. I mean, death is it's in front of us all the time. You know what I
Yeah,
mean?
all
So
the time,
so
every
so I
day.
mean, whether it be from the government or whether it just be from dealing with each other. It's just
You're right.
we're constantly facing situations that can result in us losing our lives. So we definitely have to be prepared. And thank you for addressing the question or for pointing out patient. She said that she did have went through cremation with her loved ones, and she says that's what she wants to. And me myself too. I'm like, dude, under $1,000 cremate me. Ain't no sense in using all that money for some funeral. Making a funeral home rich, and then they don't even respect your loved one anyway. They stuff them with newspaper. I don't know if any of you have seen them embalming process, but it's brutal. It's it's
Yeah, it is.
it's
It is.
brutal, man. Like
It
I don't
is.
want that happening to me. Like just man, look, just burn me up and be done with it.
And get it over with. Get it over with. Get it over with. I I was speaking on when you said, you know, back when you were stating about the dying thing. Um I asked the Chris. I have a friend. He's still in Christianity, and I asked him. Matter of fact, I was over his house, and they know that I don't do the God thing and all of that. But when they find out that I was like that, they kind of pulled back a little bit on the communication with me. They don't call or hang out, go to the movies. They don't invite me to the cookouts no more. None of that. So, but I that's expected. But me and him still partners, and we were sitting in the room with his dad, and they turned the channel. One of the church infomercials was on, and I asked him. I say, man, I say, look, now, if y'all talk all this God talk, I want to ask a question. I say, man, tell me something. If somebody came in here right now and waved a gun in your face, threatened to kill your whole family or whatnot, and all of y'all are Christians, saved, sanctified, filled with the Holy Ghost, blah, 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 and it's time for you to go, and y'all always say it's God in God's plan. So evidently, that's your God's plan. That's the way you're supposed to be leave here. I say, so now, if he threatens to take your life, first thing you say is, "Oh no, Lord Jesus, I'm not ready to die. I'm not ready to go." But my point is, haven't you spent this whole entire time trying to get to the place that this very person is about to send you to? Now, if you denying this person to take you in that form, are you not denying your God? If that's his plan and way for you to get to him, would that not be denying him? So if you're denying him, won't he deny you? And he sit there and he thought about it. He said, well, I don't really think so, well, could you leave? I say, could I leave? What did I do? He started saying that I was being aggressive in what I was asking him. Like I was getting on his nerves or something. But what it was is I asked a logical question that he could not answer, and he felt uncomfortable, and he asked me to leave. And so I was like, wow, man. So me and my man walked outside, and he said, you know what? I never thought about it like that. I say, but that's the scenario according to your book. That by default, that's what you would be doing.
Yeah.
So why don't you say, yes, please send me. I'm ready to go. He's waiting on me. Aren't your gold streets? Aren't your pearly gates? In your eternal life, no sickness, no sorrow, no nothing. Ain't that waiting on you? I say, but what it was that very instant, you had a thought that maybe this ain't real. I'm about to lose my life, but maybe this ain't real. That's why you would say, no, I'm not ready to die. I don't want to go. Because that reality kicked in and hit you in the back of your head and said, buddy, that might not be real. And you might need to rethink that.
Oh
I
yeah.
say, yeah.
Yeah, that happens all the time, Caesar, man. Like people, they love their God so much, but they don't want to go be with him.
They don't want to go.
You
They
know, so
never want to go. Never ever want to go when it's time to go. The first thing they say is, I'm not ready. Please don't take me. But that's the way he sent for you to go, ain't it? If that's in his plan,
there you go.
that's the
Accept
way
it.
for you to go.
Accept it.
Accept it. That's the
Accept
way
it.
it's time, and that's his way to come and get you. So you might as well face the music. The curtain is closed. Hand over the mic, and there it is, the end of the show.
Yeah.
But you don't want to go because you know that thing kick in and say, man, this might not be real.
Yeah,
I ask a lot of questions. Really, I'm the type, I ask a whole lot of questions. A lot of questions. They touched on me at work about the marriage. You're gonna get married. I say, well, hell, Adam and Eve wasn't married.
they wasn't supposedly married before.
Exactly. They wasn't married.
So they wasn't married before.
So why am I gonna give these people my money to do something that I could do, period? That leads back to the greed thing. They knew there was money in that.
There you go.
They knew it was money in that. That led back to the greed topic.
I tell it like this. With common sense, like to kind of go back to the point that you just made about being with God, and like let's say this thing called Pascal's wager, where like what if you wrong? Okay, I thought about that. I said, look, this is the thing. Think about this. Your God in this book, okay, this make believe God. This I look at it like this. Let's say you went to the library, okay, and the lot when you went into the library, it's 2018 now. You go into the library, and the library says we don't have no Wi-Fi, we don't have no internet, we don't have no computers, we don't deal in technology, okay. We just deal in books, right? We just deal in scrolls and books, and that's it. So everything in the world gets updated except for your Bible, except for the Word of God. Now this all-knowing God knows that we're gonna have recording capabilities later on. We're gonna have
Exactly.
video recording capabilities later on. So, but he said, nope, forget about all of that. Forget about technology. I'm staying with my book. Now, this is a horrible way to communicate to your people who you supposedly want to go to heaven, and it's not in your will that any should perish, but you stay with this old, unupdated book. Okay. So I tell people like this. People say, "Well, Rick, what if you're wrong?" I says, "If I am wrong, I'm gonna tell God just what I'm telling you." Okay. I'm not gonna be one of these people who do the crime and then they go into the courtroom and the judge give them 100 years and they fall out.
Exactly.
I'm man enough. I'm going to stand on what it is that I stand on. I'm going to be like, look, dude, this was a horrible way to communicate to your people about eternal life. You don't want nobody to go to hell. This is a horrible way to do it. We got video technology. We got recording capabilities. Update the information. Update the book so everybody can stop arguing. If I'm going to hell, I'm just going to go to hell. I'm going to stand on what I'm standing on. If I commit a crime that does give me the death penalty, 200 years, 100 years, I'm not going to fall out in the courtroom. I'm going to take whatever it is that they give me because I knew what came along with it and I'm willing to stand on it.
Oh, no doubt. No doubt. No doubt. like I say, I mean, you know, when you was talking, for some reason, that made me, you know, that made me think about some music lyrics that I had wrote, you know, when you was speaking about that. Uh I say it's a verse that I got. It says, um, singing gospel got you under God's spell. That's why you won't question what they say God tell.
Yeah, man.
You know, it's a spell. They under the spell, and singing gospel music
Hmm.
keeps you under the spell, because all you're doing is repeating and chanting the same things, so it's psychological, embedded into your mind. So all of that, you know, falls into play. You know, your God is greedy. You know what I'm saying? He's greedy. Don't want you to have nothing, but he want everything.
Oh
You
yeah,
know,
yeah.
greed,
He want
greed.
all
They
the
don't see
glory.
that.
He want
They
all the
don't see
glory.
that.
He want
Yeah, they don't.
everything. He want the glory, the credit. He wants you to give up everything, and then he penalizes you for having common sense in his own book. Like the two people in his book, Ananias and Sapphira, that use their common sense. They say, look, we don't know these apostles. We don't know where they came from teaching this stuff that we ain't never heard. Let's just give them a part of our money. Everybody else gave them all their money, but you don't usually do what everybody else does. Everybody go jump off a bridge. You gonna go jump off? So the two people that use their common sense is the two people that got killed. So your religion teaches you when you use your common sense, you die.
Die. That's a wrap. Close curtain. It's a wrap. Common sense means it's a wrap.
What's going on, Brian, man? Thanks for the donation. And I know I've been missing everybody, but I'm pretty sure the moderators have been catching. I got to stay with my thoughts because DID hit us with a donation. Thank you, DID. Black Caesar came through with a donation. We got Charles McCullough, man, always representing. Thanks for everybody that donated. Again, if you donated through Kevin's PayPal or Cash App, thank you for the donations. I'm sorry, but I didn't mean to cut you off, man. What were you gonna say, Steven?
I was thinking of, you know, when I got I got a lot of friends that still, you know, wrapped up in ministry. Like I said, I ask a lot of questions, and you know, they were saying, you know, how everything is in God's plan, is in God's hands, leave it up to God, and this, that, and the third, all the time. Every time you say something, ask a question, they never got a daggone answer. It's always let God answer the question. You know, then I get frustrated. You know, I don't have a quick temper, but when it's something that I know that makes sense and you're trying to make nonsense out of sense, that's when I get offended, you know. And I ask them, I say, okay, first of all, your God is sitting up in heaven. Think about this. It's a million sperms in the nutsack. Check this out. They floating around, all of them. So your God is sitting up there picking out which one is going to get to the egg, evidently, since he knows everything and it's in his plan. He knows which one is going to get to the egg. So he's sitting and looking at every male sperm saying, okay, well, you going to make it. All right, you're going to kill your mother when she give birth to you. You're going to be a drug addict when you get out. You're going to die on the delivery table. Let's see what you're going to do. You're going to be a massacre of all these people. So you mean to tell me he's sitting up there doing all this at the same time, want everything from you once you get where you got to go? So what is your God's point and what is his purpose? What is the reason that we got this ancient ass book that we following that ain't keeping up with nothing we doing now, but they're trying to affiliate it with what we doing now, and then try to tell you at the same time, well, the Bible says. Stop telling me what the Bible say. What do you say? What do you think? What do you know? What is your purpose? Not what's God planned for you. What's your plan for you? Tell me what your ideas of getting forward in life is and trying to make this a better place versus what you leaving this up to this Casper guy. You know, I don't want Casper controlling nothing I do. I want to control what I do, you know, but they never have answers. They never have answers to questions. Never. Get approached by Jehovah's Witness, you know, all the time. They sit up there with their signs. They sit out there in their chairs. Why we can't sit out there in the chairs and say, fear no God? Why we can't have a sign that says Jesus ain't real? Why we can't stand on the corner, you know, with the microphone yelling, don't believe the hype. It's not true. They're lying to you. God is not real. It's all allegory. Why we can't have those same advantages? But as soon as we say something, we get scrutinized. We get demonized. We get everything under the sun done, you know. But it's still they're right and we're wrong. We're the devil and they're not. But your God made the devil. You know, what kind of person that's almighty and powerful gonna make somebody they gotta fight with all the damn time? That don't even make sense.
And they can't prove anything.
You know, they can't prove nothing.
Yeah, they get mad at you for saying it's wrong, but they can't prove anything. You know, like today, people looking at me like I'm crazy for wearing this shirt. You know, but if they came up to talk to me, I know more about the Bible than they do. You know what I mean? Like,
your God counting sperms, trying to see which one gonna get to the egg first, and then he gonna do away with them after they come into this world. He wasting his time, if you ask me.
Yeah, pay homage. Pay homage in the chat said that he says if y'all haven't noticed, capitalism or wealth thrives from immorality. To be rich, you almost have to engage in some form of immoral activity. And I think you dead on with that. Pay homage. Like there's no way you can acquire all of this wealth. I look at it like this. There's no reason why you would want to be filthy rich. Like. But a lot of us are striving for riches because that's just how we've been programmed. Okay, and that's why I wanted to do this topic, just to kind of, if it just can deprogram some of us, like, man, you don't need all of these things, like the things that we're working for, the things that we're killing ourselves for. Like we in the medical field, they cut corners with your health, like using dirty needles or you know, giving you poison, like just for profit, just for money. You know, like you go get an operation that costs you basically an arm and a leg. Like you can't even you know what I mean? They make you sick. You go to the hospital. They charge you $200,000 to help you get better. You know what I mean? So it's just
you know, man. What's funny is that you said that. It's funny that you said about the hospital. It's funny. I'm gonna tell you something crazy. We're at the hospital going to the cafeteria, right? We're in the hospital going to the cafeteria. And there we get in line and they're selling fish, right? It's got fish in the food section. But guess what fish it was? Catfish. They selling bottom feeders. They selling allergy eaters. They selling people allergy eaters in the hospital. You know, a place that's supposed to be health, but they're giving you something that's killing you so you can come back so they can make more money. They're selling bottom feeders in the house, catfish.
Yeah.
They clean the ocean. Scavengers. They're selling scavenger meat in a hospital. I'm hoping people get this. They are selling scavengers in the hospital for food.
Yeah. And a whole bunch of other stuff. They got vending machines with candy, chips, junk, all that stuff, man.
Milk. They got milk. They're selling you pus in the hospital. I mean, hell, but hey, it should be a surprise. Should be a surprise.
Yeah. Oh no, it's not a surprise, man.
It's not a surprise. Hey, they still telling our kids Christopher Columbus discovered America, and ain't nobody did nothing about that yet, even though we know it's a lie.
Yeah.
So I wouldn't be surprised if they pulling all this off.
Yeah, of course, man. Like you already know, man. Like you just look at some of these documentaries like Sicko or that Michael Moore put out, about the pharmaceutical industry. I myself I worked in pharmaceuticals. So I've seen some things on my own. Just in your everyday life, like some of the careers that we do. I mean, even in my own career insurance, I've seen some shady business tactics because I keep my eyes open and I can see things. I'm like, I know what you're doing. I see what you're doing. It's
Right?
all about
Greed,
money.
greed. They're trying to get paid. Greed, 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 man. Greed,
It's all about money.
greed.
Michael Moore, man, he has some great documentaries. He did one on capitalism. He did one on, Sicko, the healthcare, Fahrenheit 9/11, Columbine. He touched on a lot of just like controversial subjects that a lot of people wouldn't touch. And again, before I forget, Kevin already thanked you, Terry, but thank you for the donation. Thank you for the support. Um, so and then also somebody else said something here. Let's see. Okay, so they were saying like the hospital sometimes they make you sick, and that's dead on. Instead of
Yeah,
getting
they
you
make you sick.
healed,
Yeah,
yeah,
yeah.
and these pharmaceuticals with these maintenance medications, instead of giving you the information to cure your diabetes or to rid yourself of diabetes or high blood pressure or cholesterol, they just give you a pill. Say, hey, take
They give
this
you a pill.
for your
They give you a pill.
for whatever ailment you have.
They
So
just mask the problem. They mask it.
yeah, there you go. And
They
I want
mask the
to make a
problem.
quick point, Caesar, that it's just something I thought of really quick. um, when you was talking about the make believe God, I always call him the make believe God. I don't call him God. I call him the make believe God. So check this out. Like I thought about this. I'm standing on the side of the street. Okay, so I'm on the side of the street. I see a little kid standing close to me, about to run out into the street. Okay, all I got to do is reach out my hand and grab the kid. But instead of reaching out my hand and grab the kid, I just let the kid run out into the street, get hit by a car, and he dies. Okay. So the family member of the child, the parents of the child arrive at the scene and see their child laying dead in the street. Okay. So what I do is I go over to them and I put my arms around them and I console them and I said, you know what, I'm sorry for your loss. Okay. A witness comes up and says, dude, why didn't you grab that kid and keep him from running out into the street? And then the parents look at me like, you could have saved my child, but you didn't. So do you think that these parents would continue to allow me to console them after learning that I could have saved their child, but I chose not to? This is the same thing that you do to your God. Okay. You ask your God for protection. You ask your God to make sure your family's safe. And when your family member dies, or when you go to the same person who could supposedly have saved the child for solace, for comfort, to console you. Okay, and that's crazy. That's psychotic. You know, so you wouldn't allow me to console you if you learned that I could have saved your child, but you do it for your make believe God.
The make believe God picked him out of the sack. He picked him out of that sperm sack. knew it. Picked him out of the sperm sack and knew that what was going to happen to him. He picked him out. He picking everybody out according to if that's the case. He already knew what we were before we was. If that's the case,
Kevin said
like
he's a forced believe guy. He said I call him make believe. Kevin says we forced to believe.
yeah, I call him Casper.
Yeah.
That's what I call him Casper. I always call him. You talking to Casper, but ain't nothing friendly about him because hell, he kill every damn body every time you get a chance to.
Yeah, Tim said, why do people cry during funerals knowing loved ones are going to a magical heaven? Crazy. You know why they cry, Tim? Because they know they ain't going to heaven. They
Yeah,
they know ain't no heaven. They know they going to the ground or wherever it is that they final resting place is. That's where they going. They know they not going to heaven, man.
that's just like the preacher always has. The preacher always has something good to say. about the person all the time. Even if the person was the most terriblest person, individual on the planet, they always say, well, this person, this, that, and the third was an excellent human being, and he was very respectful. When Ray could have been the stick-up kid of the neighborhood, he could have been the stick-up kid, but the stick-up kid had wings. He was the best kid, and I remember this and remember that and the third. But you know why the preacher ain't saying nothing bad about the stick-up kid? Because he knows if he preaches a good sermon, he gonna get paid to do another good one. Greed.
Yeah.
See what I'm saying? Greed.
Yeah.
He gonna get paid to do it again, so why not do it right the first time? Greed.
Yeah.
So they never honest about none of that, because if you stand up in there and say what the dude was really about, you might not make it out alive. You see? So now you got to sit there and listen to all these lies, all this fake shouting and speaking in tongue and all this. And at the end of the day, you knew all that was a lie, but then you're going to convince yourself that it was real.
That's it.
You're going to make yourself believe it.
It's all about emotion.
A good sermon.
It's all about emotion. And then when we talk about the church, asking you for your money and having faith, why doesn't the church have faith? Okay.
Exactly.
Why doesn't the preacher have faith? And just, if a church has $1 million, why don't they spend that $1 million on the community? And then say, we ain't gonna worry about it because God is gonna replenish whatever it is we spent. But they don't have faith.
Oh man, you got 5 churches on one block. You got 5 churches on one block, man. And at the same time, the neighborhood is raggedy. Them churches won't even get together, put their money together and buy a housing development and build something. They won't put their money together and buy the corner store for the neighborhood. They won't get together and buy schools and none of that. They'll tell each other, don't go to that church do this. Don't go over here, they believe in that. But give your money, pay for this so we can have that. They all battling like it's a war or something, but at the same time, the neighborhood in shambles. You know what I'm saying? And like Kev said before, I heard him say 9 times out of 10, the people in the church ain't from the neighborhood. They done came from across town to come there.
There you go.
They done left their own community to come over there. And then at the same time, they battling with the other churches right across the street, right on the corner, in the backyard, all at the same time. It makes no sense, but they don't see that, man. They don't see that. They act like it's a game, and it's not a game. They playing with people's livelihood. They playing with the future of our kids. They playing with the community. They playing with everything like it's a juggling act. You know what I'm saying? But I'm telling you, as soon as they drop one of them balls, it's over. Soon as they drop one of them balls and get exposed the right way, it's a wrap. They don't even have each other's back.
Man, it's gonna be hard, those Caesar. I mean, to point out what you said, their book, yes, 5 churches on one block, but their book tells them not to be divided. Their book tells them speak the same thing, that there be no divisions among you. That's what their book said. That's what their boy Paul wrote in Corinthians. He says, I beseech that you speak the same thing, that there be no division among you. So they don't ever get together and say, hey, let's get together so we're not divided. But they're all divided, and they expect you to believe this nonsense.
They don't even know what the word together mean unless they use it in their own building. That's it. That's all. The only time they know what together means if they use it in their own building. But once they step out that building, ain't no togetherness. They all divided, man. They divided.
The preacher said he knew his heart. At the funeral, he said God knew his heart. How we know God didn't come to Ray in that final hour?
Yeah. They'll pull that line too. They'll pull that line. Hope he made his peace with the Lord, and Ray this and Ray that. Nah. You probably owe Ray some money. That's why you talking good.
or scared of Ray's family members. If you say something wrong about Ray,
they done paid you that change. They done paid you that change. So the 9 times out of 10, them words better be uplifting and everything else, because if they not, you in trouble. You got to leave out the back door and all the rest of the gang too. So it's a game and they playing with everybody, and that's not cool. I don't think that we should have to sit back and know that this is going on and have a fat piece of duct tape across our mouth when they get to shout and scream whatever they want to say and tell you whatever they want to tell you about their God and their Jesus and everybody else that never existed, that they can't prove existed. So I don't get it. We the one walking around holding our tongue, but got the knowledge to release the mind of all these people and help individuals become better people. And they just want us to stay quiet and just stay in the back. That's all. Stay quiet, be in the back, don't say nothing.
Oh yeah,
You know,
you gotta listen.
that's
You
all.
definitely can't speak up.
And we sit around, and as soon as we speak up, man, I ain't talked to my family members in a minute, man. I went to my grandma's funeral um last year around by this time, and I was riding up the road, was going to Winston-Salem, and I was telling my little brother, because they always been tripping off me ever since we were little, because my grandma was in it deep. She used to put crosses on our head with the olive oil. She used to pray for us. She used to come kidnap me from my friends, talking about they demons and the God ain't in them, and I rebuke them and all this, and I can't hang out. So I never felt the whole God is real, Jesus real thing anyway. But I was, straddle the fence a little bit, go pray a little bit, because I seen everybody else doing it. I'm falling in line, but at the same time, I'm like, something ain't right. So we driving up the road, and I'm telling my brother, look, man, if that preacher stand up on my grandma and start talking that crazy talk, man, I say, I'm gonna have to walk out the door. I say, because I can't take that.
Yeah.
I say, I'm not about to sit here and let this dude stand over my grandma and start talking this crazy talk when I know it ain't real. And he cutting his eye at me like, man, man, I don't want to talk about that. I'm like, nah, we need to talk about this. This is an issue. This is serious, because he's still in the matrix part of that. Yeah. So the conversation was short. We got there late, had a flat tire, got there and everything. And so when the dude stood up and started talking, I got up and walked out to church. I let them have that. Mm-hmm. I walked out, and a couple of my family members, they knew why I walked out. Right. And so a couple of months later, my aunt passed, which is, her sister, my aunt passed. And they practically helped raise me. My aunt passed, right? Now, this grandma was on my dad's side. Now, grandma that did the olive oil thing was on my mom's side. So my aunt passed. I got a text from my cousin say, auntie died. I say, what? Like, yeah, she died 3 days ago. I say, she did. I said, all right, when they having a funeral? She say, I get back with you on it and let you know. I ain't nobody call me, man. Ain't nobody tell me nothing. Ain't nobody tell me where it was, what time it was, where the service was held. They ain't tell me nothing at all. They didn't want me there because of what I know and the way I feel about it. They just didn't want me there. They felt like it was gonna be, a demon that's gonna jump into everybody. You know what I'm saying? I mean, because they, a lot of them deep south, they scriptured, mm-hmm. embedded, So it was like, yo, I can't believe this. You know what I'm saying? It's members. I ain't talked to my brothers, sister, mamas, nobody. I ain't talked to nobody in about 6-7 months. And it's crazy that's what it do to people, man. And we shouldn't allow that to continue. That is crazy. You got people you done came up and raised your whole life, and all over something that you can prove that they can't prove. They don't want to talk to you. They don't want to be bothered.
Yeah, like at the funeral though, like I would do what you did, like just let them have their moment, not interrupt the funeral procession. Like if I indicated to them prior to the ceremony or the funeral that I didn't want certain things to happen, and then they went against my wishes and decided to do it anyway, then I wouldn't interrupt the situation unless it was just something like utterly disrespectful. Like the
Exactly.
incident that happened with Aretha Franklin's funeral, I think that was just like ridiculous. But like you said, but we have to make sure that our wishes are in writing, so our family members cannot just do their own thing and like just desecrate your memory. You know what I mean? And because you only get to do that type of thing one time. I mean, you can do it more than once, but like it's just a one time thing that you do, and once it's done, that's it. It's done. You can't go back and redo it.
You can't do it over, man. There's no rewind button. There's no repeat and no rewind button. You know, that's the only thing you can do is pause and get it right, and then hit the button again and start it over. You know, for far as from where you stopped at. Once you get the knowledge, you hit that pause button, you get that knowledge, and then you unpause it and you go from there. But ain't no rewind button, and ain't no reset button. That don't exist in life. Ain't no reset button. You can't die and start over. You know what I'm saying? And I respect everybody's belief system. I don't try to push what I know on nobody, but it's always being pushed on the other end. They walk up to you, giving you pamphlets, trying to invite you to this and invite you to that. But as soon as you invite them to something, then to wake them up, they don't want to come. You know, soon as you try to wake them up, they hit the snooze button. They ain't trying to wake up right now. They hit the snooze button with the quickness. They ain't trying to hear that, man. And it's a shame because they want us to hear everything, and we'll listen. And on 9 times out of 10, only thing we come back with is a question.
Yeah.
That's it.
Well,
You
their
know.
book tells them that they can't come to things like that. Caesar, let me ask you a question. You said a while ago that we need to stop these things from occurring, and we need to see what have you maybe thought of any ways that we could be able to do that? Like if a church in our community is just not doing what they're supposed to do, and they have a pretty big congregation, what have you maybe thought of any ways that we can try to stop it or slow it
Yeah.
down or eliminate
Yeah.
it?
Exactly. Yes. Now I'm gonna tell you. Check this out. Why can't we, as the conscious community, have our own buildings and, like I said, have our own pamphlets? Why can't we sit outside with our own brochures, make our own brochures of conscious question brochures? You see what I'm saying? Make the like the Jehovah's Witness got their little pamphlets. Why can't we make a conscious brochure pamphlet to ask just full of questions,
Hmm.
just to make them think, just questions.
Yeah.
We ain't got to tell them nothing. We ain't got to say something gonna happen to them. Just questions. A question brochure. Have you ever thought? Just put that on the front. Have you ever thought about? You know what I'm saying?
There
Conscious
you
questions. Put the put the location of where we having this discussion at. So if they want to come, they can come. We ain't got to tell them to come. It's on the information. It's on the brochure. You see what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Because once their eyes drop down and see that, you can't unsee what you just saw. You know where it's at. You see the number. That seed in your head now. You see what I'm saying?
Yeah,
That seed
that's a
in
good
your head.
idea. I thought about something like that myself. Like the
Like
Jehovah's
have
Witness got
brochure,
their little
make
pamphlets.
brochure.
Yeah.
Just ask questions. You see what I'm saying? And I think that would start at least a spark. You know,
Yeah.
that would give us at least a spark. Cause just like they can do that, we should be able to do the same thing. But there always are consequences behind that. Like, if, for instance, if we did have a building, we can expect vandalism, non-believers get out of here, and all this crazy mess like that.
Right.
That's understandable. But soon as you spray paint one of their buildings, you going to jail. You're gonna go to jail for something that ain't even realistic, which is crazy. But at the same time, they keep pushing, so we got to keep pushing too. Make brochures, just ask questions. A brochure full of questions, man.
Right.
About 10 questions. Serious, just little simple questions.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Like, is it possible for the world to flood in 15 cubics of water, which equals 23 feet? Just simple questions.
Yeah.
You see what I'm saying?
Yeah.
It's simple. How many times did God give Moses the 10 Commandments? Just simple questions.
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
Like
What are the
simple
numbers?
question is
What are the
like
numbers on
is
the on
Jesus
the
the
on the?
Son of God? Like have you ever
Yeah,
thought about who the Son of God is?
exactly.
So yeah.
Simple
Why
questions.
did Jesus have
Uh,
12 disciples? Why are there 12 tribes of Israel?
yeah. Why are there Roman numerals on the 10 Commandments and they're just coming out of Egypt? You know what I'm saying? Simple questions.
Yeah. That's I think that would be good. It's just like Jehovah's Witnesses, they give out their little pamphlets like, "What do you know what's going to happen to you when you die? Do you
Yeah.
know who Jesus
Yeah.
is?" Blah blah
Little
blah.
pamphlet.
So yeah, so I think that'll be a Kev actually said that he says he's working on that. He says he
Word.
working on some pamphlets. He says yeah, we can hand them out on our own tracks. Yeah, so Kevin says he is developing something like that. He also said he loved you guys. His meds kind of kicking in. So it might cause him to drift off. and we're probably gonna shut the stream down here in a little bit. We're approaching 2 hours, so just like you were saying, man, that's a great idea, and we don't need for someone to do that. Like we can all do that. You can just type up something on your computer, print it out. You might be able to print it out at work. I'm not telling you to do it at work. Don't get caught printing it out. Print it out. And just and you at the mall or something, just hand them out. So they be like, look,
Hand them
hand them
out.
out.
Just hand them
So
out.
if you put your phone number on it, like somebody can get back to you, like, cause we gotta wake our people up, man. Like we gotta use
Yeah.
more drastic measures to waking them up. Like we're the ones in our family, but like you like this is how I got started with this. I would do a little audio clip on my phone, and I'm not telling you to send it to everybody, but I would make a phone list and I would send it to about 10, 12, 15 people that I knew,
Yeah.
and so they can listen to it. And then they would have questions, and then I would answer their questions. That's how I got started with this whole thing, man. So, just sending an audio clip to everybody that was in my phone,
Just
so
ask a
that they can
question.
listen to it. So we have to take drastic measures because this is a very drastic situation. Wear this shirt to your church. They gonna look at you like you crazy, but if one
They're gonna
person
look at
want to
you.
talk to you about it, have the conversation with them.
I
So
mean, why would an all loving and all just and all fair God want you to fear him anyway? That don't even make sense to fear a all loving, just being. Why would he want you wouldn't want your parents don't want you to fear them. They might want you to obey them, but they don't want you to be in fear of them. So why would this all loving God want you to be in fear? That should just be an underline fear, underlined, for real, red flag.
yeah,
Fear.
right.
Why would a all loving, just God want you to be in fear of him? Why would he want to do harm to you? It does not equal sense. It equals nonsense. So understand what the deal is. You know what I'm saying? I don't get it, and I like to, give a shout out again to Kev for having this channel, man. You know what I'm saying? He helped a lot of people, you know what I mean? And I like I said, I met them down at the meeting of the minds, him and Coach, and I wanted to, restate that if it's something that he need for, like when they do the building, if they decide to, make a move on that, I got, I sell toilet paper and laundry detergent on for my other, occupation, for my own little pocket change. I wouldn't mind donating, little products to keep it, sanitized to the setup. You know what I'm saying? I don't have no problem doing that. I want to be a part of whatever I can be a part of. That's a plus. You know what I'm saying? And so, if that's possible, I love to do that, man. And I also wanted to let them know that I make my own jewelry, like my own chains and stuff like that.
Okay.
And I like this chain here that stands for be something.
Okay.
That means be something. I got a lot of little designs that I make up little notations for, and I was gonna I'm gonna get him one. I need to figure out how to get it to him for the Truth Factory. I know he don't like not a jewelry person and everything, but even if it's just to hang on the wall, saying something that show some appreciation for what they done set up. You know what I'm saying?
Okay.
You too, Josh on the board. I call him Josh on the board. You know what I'm saying? Because like I said, I do music and all that, so I give everybody nicknames and all that stuff, but for real, man, we got to do something, dude. We got to come up with some kind of game plan. It's 4th and 15 and we ain't punting the ball. Yeah. For real. We're not punting the ball.
So where else can we find you at other than I guess you just on Facebook, Caesar?
Yeah, I'm on Facebook and I also on Instagram. I just put up a couple of got my Instagram thing up and going a couple months ago. I got a lot of stuff I'm in the process of doing now here at the crib. I got my little music stuff I set up, try to do some little videos. I'll play around with the home video thing sometime, but I'm in the process of doing real videos, and I love to do a joint with Kev because I got a lot a lot of music, on in that avenue. You know what I'm saying? A lot of music in that avenue. I talk to the knuckleheads too, so I can relate to them on their level, so they can understand that it's real out here. They need to wake up, you know what I'm saying, and stop, sucking the mama titty all the time. You can't do that.
Mhm. Yo,
You got
Caesar,
to be your own
give
man.
everybody your
And ladies,
Facebook. We got some people asking where your Facebook.
Black
Give
Caesar, my
everybody.
Facebook page is Black Caesar. Black Caesar. Facebook page is Black Caesar. The other one is, my little government, so I gotta get that switched up.
Okay.
You know how these people act crazy and take things out of context. You know what I mean? So they can state what they feel, but we can't state what I feel once again. And then it's also on Instagram at Black Caesar on Instagram. And yeah, man. So and anybody would like, to get, a chain or whatever, I like to do the stuff for fun, man.
Okay.
For people for the people that's serious about understanding what's going on. You know what I'm saying? You gotta understand what's going on, people. For real. I got kids, man. I can't have uh I can't have them people running around here, not knowing what's going on, dealing with my kids, man. Can't do that.
We
That
all
take
do, man.
serious.
We definitely got to tell them the truth, man. We're approaching 2 hours, man. So we're gonna go ahead and get ready to get up out of here. But Leishan, Black Caesar said he hit him up, man, at Leishan Thomas, man, on his Facebook. So I guess he want to do some things, which he said go ahead and
Word,
inbox him.
word. We friends on Facebook
Yeah,
under the
yeah.
other name. So yeah, I'm gonna hit
Yeah,
him. I
yeah.
sure
He
will.
said send
This
something
time,
to his inbox. As
okay,
everybody
that'll
know,
work.
you can always reach me begging for change on YouTube. Subscribe to the page if you haven't subscribed already. I'm gonna continue putting content up. My content is gonna the subject matter is gonna broaden. But right now I'm just kind of keeping it concise because I'm helping Kevin out in while he's recuperating. So if anybody wants to be on the show, okay, so reach out to me, reach out to Josh, or reach out to Kevin if you want to be a guest on the show while Kevin's absent. If anyone has any topics that they want to discuss on the show, please bring those to us so that we can review those and see if we can discuss those topics on the show. Okay, so also Begging for Change YouTube page, Ricky Swink on Facebook. Again, I just want to shout out the raffle. $5 for one entry, 3 entries for $10. Reach out to Tamasha Hunter and Vanessa Dixon. You will need to give a donation through Cash App. Make sure you screenshot it, post it to the page, and also same thing on PayPal. You just make a donation to Kevin, screenshot it. The PayPal is Kevin Wesley one. If I'm not mistaken, Josh, please correct me if I'm wrong, but $ Kevin D Wesley one on Cash App. So go ahead and make those donations. If you've already donated in the chat, we appreciate it. We appreciate your continued support. Do you have any closing words, Caesar? Are we good?
Man, closing words is, man, for real people, we gotta keep this movement pushing. You know what I'm saying? We gotta keep this thing pushing by all means necessary. The revolution will be televised for real, by all means necessary. Don't believe the hype. Don't let your kids believe that hype. You ain't gotta hurt nobody's feelings, but you gotta hurt the lie. You sure enough gotta hurt the lie. You know, I don't care if you gotta wrap it up in the box. You gotta hurt the lie. I ain't talking about killing nobody. I'm talking about killing the lie. We gotta kill it for
Exactly.
real. And the
Exactly.
old people say, I kill you dead. And the old people down south, I kill you dead. Tell that lie got to go. It's got to go, man. It's got to go.
Josh, did we leave anything out?
No, sir, I don't believe so.
Okay, family, the page is actually begging, just spelled out the normal way, the number four and change. I know some people in the chat was asking me how is the page, but I'll just leave a quick note. If you see how my name is spelled right here, it'll it'll be spelled the same way. So begging for change is the page. Deidre, I'll actually reach out to you. You can inbox me for anything that I'm doing here in the local area. We can kind of go over that. She indicated that she's in Phoenix also. Family, thanks for supporting the stream while Kevin is out. Um, Thank you. You just don't know how important this is for us to come on here, continue to support the brother. Again, he's in need of supplements. So if we can get that to him, by all means, go on this betheevolution.org, purchase some merchandise, or give through the PayPal or the Cash App. And with that being said, we're going to say good night to everyone, okay?
Good night, fam.